Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio and Cameron, and welcome to the EAC show. I'm coming to you live from sunny South Florida. Here we're joined by Joey Benetti and Marcus Smack on the sound.
Hey,
we got Clarence Josie on video. My son Emilio Jr. is in the building. And right next to me again is UCF activist and sports enthusiast, the big one, Cameron Denny. Cameron, what's going on,
What's
man?
going on? Not much. How we doing?
Show number 2 right here, episode number 2. We're excited about what we got to talk about today. We got a lot on the agenda. Cam, why don't you give them a list what's on the agenda for today's show?
Little rundown here. We're going to recap, again, the XFL, lightly about what happened in Week 1. We're going to talk about Week 2, the matchups that we're going to be looking at. We'll talk a little bit about the betting lines.
Oh, I can't wait to speak about that.
I know you can't wait to speak about that. Not only that, but we'll talk a little bit. I put a little bit of list together on the championship odds. Week by week, they update them. It's obviously we still don't know what we're talking about with this XFL and these teams that are so new to us. But jumping from there, we'll talk about the MLB.
Yeah, listen, I'm so excited that Cam and I decided to speak about my favorite sport, Major League Baseball, today. I'm really excited. We're going to talk about the cheating scandal a little bit. We're going to touch on that, even though that's really an old subject. But we're going to talk about that playoff format that a lot of people are upset about also. I know we're going to tackle that too.
A lot of people are upset about it, but there's also a lot of people that are for it. Bob Costas came out and said he was for it. So there's pros and cons. We'll get into it.
Is ancient, Jesus.
I know.
Nothing but respect to Bob Costas, but he's old.
Yeah, don't come after me.
He's old. And we're going to get into a little bit what? NBA, right?
NBA talk, mainly just the games that happened last night, at least the good games that we want to talk about.
I mean, I saw 2 of them. I saw it was 76ers versus Clippers.
That's right.
And then I saw the Rockets versus
Celtics. Yeah,
right,
the 2 games on TNT.
I literally felt like I was just watching James Harden and freaking Russell Westbrook the whole game.
Going at it, right?
Like literally, it was like 2 against 5 the whole game.
I think they dropped like 78 points combined or something like that, the 2 of them.
Right. So let's and that's it. That's all we got on the slate for today, right?
That, and then we'll also touch on some All-Star break for the NBA.
Right,
we got that coming up.
I forgot about that part. I totally forgot. It's we're gonna touch on the NBA situation, the tribute that the NBA is gonna pay to Kobe Bryant and the passing of him.
That's right.
And Gianna and the other members as well. And yeah, we're pretty much gonna touch base, but we're definitely gonna start off with what's been the most exciting part of the past week, and that's XFL. So Cam, why don't you run down, who are the winners, who are the losers in Week 1, and we'll go from there.
So like we talked about in Week 1. Still so very new. We still don't know really what we're watching, but we did see the Defenders, who was the heavy favorite coming in just with Cardell Jones, and everyone that thought that they were going to explode off the scene right away. They did it on both ways, offense and defense. They beat the Seattle Dragons by 12 points, I believe. We have the Roughnecks that took over the LA Wildcats. They beat them so bad that the LA Wildcats fired their defensive coordinator.
I saw that.
Right
I saw that. Game 1, you said, get the hell out of here, yo.
Pepper Johnson was, first of all time name Pepper Johnson, but he was out right away. There's no margin for error in this new league.
That's it.
After that, we had the Guardians of New York, like I said, the best football team in New York right now. Who
Keep
beat
taking cheap shots at me, for real. I let you slide the first time you did it in episode 1. Now we're in episode 2. You're bringing it back again. Now you thought I didn't. I heard you when you said it in episode 1.
I mean, you just got to take notice. I mean, you got to get them boys ready, them and the Giants.
Listen, not for nothing. The Tampa Bay Vipers actually played a better game, but they just short end of the stick.
Yeah, they didn't finish where it mattered. They didn't finish in the red zone.
That one wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Vipers, he caught 6 for like $120. He was like wide receiver of the week for them. He was good.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Hopefully,
and what was the last game? Dallas versus.
We had the Dallas Renegades versus the Blackhawks. Where are the Blackhawks at?
Battlehawks.
They were there on St. Louis, right?
St. Louis. Yeah, the Battlehawks were good, man. They weren't that bad. That one quarterback, I forgot his last name, but his first name is Jordan, and he was really, really, really good. He had poise. Threw a rocket for a touchdown, big 30-yard run to get a drive going. Like, he was really into the game. And, I mean, they also tried to run the ball. They were very balanced. And Marquette King was the best player on the field. I mean, those punts that he was sending, literally. He was sending, like, I think those things are called Falcons, the Tesla rockets that go up in the... He was sending Falcons into the air, like, literally.
I'd like to see him make it back to the league because he was fun.
Dude, he's going to. He's going. I think a little bit has to do with his swagger and how his swagger might rub people the wrong way, or they might not think he's serious enough as a player. But, man, he does his thing. He's good.
Yeah.
He's really, really good.
I mean, listen, to be a punter, I mean, you got to show out as a punter. I mean, that's a position where you can have a little fun with it. Like we talked about Pat McAfee for the brand. He always had fun with his punts, and him celebrating after he had a dime of a punt.
Oh, yeah, he used to do a little golf chip shot or, a little smooth wave or something like that. He always used to do that. So, speaking about the XFL, who do you think, coming off of week 1 losses, has the best chance of winning in week 2?
It's funny that you say that. This week of the 4 matchups we have, 2 of them are 1-0 teams. So you got the 1-0 teams playing each other.
Right.
And the other 2 games, you have the 0-1 teams playing each other. So this week you're going to start to see the cream rise to the top. But as far as the 2 teams or the 4 teams that are 0-1, the best team the best chance of a team that I think is going to bounce back.
Tampa Bay Vipers?
No, actually, it's actually the team they're playing, the Seattle Dragons.
I'm saying Tampa Bay Vipers. So
okay.
I'm glad we go ahead. What's the line in that game?
The rivalry's ensuing. The line in that game is Tampa -3, even though they're traveling to Seattle.
So basically, because the lines I noticed, the lines now are kind of like real lines. They're not the -9.5 over 54. I saw some 44s, some 47s with the over under.
Right.
I saw a -6, a -4. I think one of them is still -9.5. Correct?
I have, unless you saw it recent than I did, I have -6.5 the Defenders, -7.5 the Houston Roughnecks.
Right.
Thank you. The Dallas Renegades are -4, and then the Vipers are -4.
All right, so the last one is the one that I got wrong. That's the one that I thought that was a big one.
It's funny though because the over and unders, it's anywhere from 44.5 to 50.5.
I mean, it's still tough to tell whether these guys are going to score points or these guys are going to have a 15-9 high baseball score game.
Right.
It's difficult, but I think that the Tampa Bay Vipers just literally, I think they pull it off this week. I really do.
I think they have enough talent to pull it off because mainly these teams are sourcing from the state they're in.
Right.
And we all know Florida football is some of the top notch in the country. The thing that I like about the Seattle Dragons is the fact that Tampa Bay has to travel all the way to Seattle. That's as far as you can get going from countryside to countryside.
Yeah, that's true.
You also have a quarterback controversy. They still don't know what they're doing with buddy from Georgia that we talked about, Aaron Murray and Quentin Flowers.
Yeah.
And you have, in the first game, I saw a lot out of Seattle Dragons when they played the DC Defenders. They had a punt block return for a touchdown that went against them. Right. That stuff doesn't hold up long term. So I think they can bounce back. I mean, you never know what we're going to see, though.
So the sugar honey iced tea moment in last week's game that we didn't get a chance to talk about was, and I know you've seen this because we talked about it. Did you see Jerry Glanville literally have 2 headsets on? He had a defensive headset and an offensive headset.
Yeah.
And for all you people that didn't notice it, just go to Instagram or go look it up on the internet, Google it. Jerry Glanville was literally coaching with 2 headsets on, and that is our sugar honey iced tea moment of the XFL.
And what you didn't notice is that he actually had an AirPod in for the special teams. That nobody wants to talk about that, but that's actually the case. But not only the lines we want to talk about, but the thing I wanted to touch about most was the ongoing championship odds. We still don't know what you're going to get out of this. You have a team that's plus 1,000, I think, with the Battlehawks. I want to say.
Oh, so the Battlehawks are the most value?
I think the Battlehawks are the most valued pick. I mean, you're gonna have to check that on me.
You put $100 to win $1,000 on the Battlehawks?
I know, but who's gonna put $100 on a team they have no idea about, on a league they have no idea about?
$100 on a lot less, literally. I have no problem putting $100 on the Battlehawks, my friend.
You wasted $100 on chicken wings before the show started.
Come on, don't tell everybody. I'm trying to watch my weight, man. Come on, what's going on with you? But okay, so let's get back to it. So let's go. You give me your picks. I give you mine. Let's do the lines as well. I'm not gonna do over unders. I'm horrible over unders. I don't even touch over unders. I just go straight spreads. So give me what you like. You name the team and who they're playing and do the line, and we'll go back and forth.
Okay. Gut reaction without doing pretty much any research at all on these teams, breaking down these teams and the trends going on with these teams. I would say that the Defenders beat the Guardians. That's the 2 teams that are 1-0. That's probably the two teams that were the most hot in week 1.
And what was the line in that game again?
The line in that game was -6.5. You give 3 points to the home team. It's in DC.
Mm-hmm. So you got the Defenders -6.5. So
I have the Defenders -6.5.
So you're saying Defenders are going to win by a touchdown? I'll go with you on that. Defenders win by a touchdown.
And remember, it's not always a touchdown because they can go for 3 on an extra point.
Let's go to game 2. What's game 2?
Game 2, Battlehawks, St. Louis Battlehawks, and the Houston Roughnecks.
And what's the line on that?
Line on that is -7.5 Houston.
So basically they're saying that the Battlehawks don't have the offensive firepower to score because the Battlehawks just literally went to Dallas and beat a Dallas team that was favored by 9.5 in Dallas.
That's right.
And they only gave up 9 points.
They only gave up 9 points. They only scored 15. That was one of the more low scoring.
So they're saying that basically they don't feel like that St. Louis has the offensive power and that the Roughnecks are literally just going to trounce on them. So I'm going to go. No. Defenders was the first game. The Roughnecks is the second game. You said Roughnecks versus Battlehawks.
Blackhawks versus the Roughneck. You're right.
The Battlehawks versus the Roughnecks. You said.
Right.
Right.
And I think they see enough out of the Roughnecks defense on the other side of that as well. So we're
going to go Roughnecks. I'm going to go Roughnecks in that game, and it's what -6.5. You said
-7.5. I'm gonna go against the grain just so we're going back and forth
so you're
here.
Taking the plus points.
Yeah, I got to play devil's advocate, so I'm taking the points and I'm taking the Battlehawks.
All right. So what's the next game? Game 3.
The one we were talking about, Tampa Bay Vipers traveling to Seattle.
I'm going with Tampa Bay Vipers. If you guys are watching the show out there, fans out there, I'm rocking with the Tampa Bay Vipers. They're going to win this weekend. I'm telling you.
By the way, side note, Tampa Bay Vipers have the 4th best odds or the 4th worst odds for championship. So we have the team that they think are really going to win the championship right now, DC and the New York Renegades, or excuse me, the New York
Guardians.
God, we got to learn these teams, man. This league is so new.
It's okay.
They're both plus 350 right now.
Okay.
The Vipers are plus 650. So if you like the Vipers that much long term,
I rather the value on the Battlehawks than the Vipers.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So for this game, I mean, we already have like this rivalry going back and forth here early on. I'm going to take the Dragons. So we're going against each other on 2 of these games.
So give me the last one.
The last one is the Renegades versus the Wildcats.
And what's the line in that?
-4 Dallas, even though it's in LA.
I think
New DC.
I think Stoop is going to bounce back. I think he's going to get his victory. I think the Dallas Renegades win this one and they cover. So just to recap, I have the Defenders, I have the Roughnecks, I have the Vipers, and I have the Renegades. And you have the Defenders.
I have the Battlehawks, the Dragons, and I'll roll with you on the Renegades.
All right, sorry. So we agree on 2 and we split the other 2.
That's right.
All right, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna win, all 4, and you're gonna lose. I'm gonna win 4, and you're gonna win 2.
I'll go 2 for 2.
I'll be okay for the week. So let's go to our second topic of the day and our second subject, and that's gonna be the baseball scandal. So it's been talked about so much left and right, and this is definitely my arena. A lot of people are getting on the Houston Astros and saying that everybody's cheating in some way, shape, or form, and it's true. They are. They really are cheating. they really are cheating in some way, shape, or form. But in all actuality, it's like some people are deeming the cheating as they went a little bit too far.
Yeah, everyone knows that sign stealing is an art in baseball that goes, long term from when this pastime of sports started, the sport of the pastime started. But it's sign stealing it's acceptable sign stealing to where if you can watch a pitcher and have him tip off and steal a tip from him, you can use it to your advantage. The reason why, and I know we're late on this, but the reason why everyone was in such a mad rush about this was because they're using technology they're using cameras and technology in order to cheat.
But Cam, I gotta tell you the truth. People only do that because they think other people are getting an upper hand on them. So in all actuality, if somebody's thinking I'm using an Apple Watch to steal signs, then damn, if you're using an Apple Watch and I'm going to use a tablet, I'm going to use a computer, I'm going to use a television or a stream or whatever,
sure.
I'm just going to one-up you. I mean, if you want to look at other sports, look at the Patriots. Do you really think the Patriots were the only team to ever film other people's sidelines? No, they were the only team that got caught doing it. That was the only difference. I'm pretty sure to this day there's still NFL teams that try to steal cadences, signs, or whatever it may be from other NFL teams. It's just some things are just left alone. It's part of the sport. And I don't have a problem with Mike Friars, who's the original pitcher that came out and ousted everybody about it. I don't have a problem with him doing that if he felt like he wanted to be on the even playing field. That's fine. But what I don't like about this whole situation is like how MLB is literally trying to just push this under the rug. Literally, like in the beginning, Rob Manfred was like, "Oh, we only feel like this is an isolated incident." Why are you trying to lie to the fans? The fans are not stupid. They're very smart people. Like they know that there's multiple teams doing this.
Right.
You mean to, like I just said, you know the Patriots aren't the only one cheating. Well, don't tell me that the Houston Astros are the only ones cheating as well.
Right. And it's the team that gets caught that gets closely viewed. That's why you saw the Patriots continuously get caught cheating, because once you get caught once, the eyes are on.
They really dig it. Because like even with the report that came out in The Athletic, and now Carlos Beltran is being named as the Godfather. They actually use those words. They use Godfather of the sign stealing allegations. Well, Beltran is just literally sitting there saying, "Look, you guys are far behind compared to what everybody else is doing. You guys are just far behind. You guys need to get with the Joneses.
Catch up.
Yeah, you need to catch up." So there's plenty of other teams that's doing the same exact thing. Like I said, I just feel like I know for a fact that Rob Manfred is probably out there just literally hoping that this goes away, and it's not going to. The media is literally just going to keep, digging in and finding more, and we'll see what ends up happening. Now, I know there was another thing that came out just recently, and we wanted to touch base on that, and why don't you tell them what that's about?
Yeah, and it stays in the baseball realm, and it has to do with the new playoff format. I know a lot of people are a little iffy about it, and a lot of people are for it, actually. Bob Costas came out and he said he was all about it, the change. And, we'll go through a little bit about the change and what it has to mean with all these teams that are going to be added to it. So instead of having 10 playoff teams in the MLB, you're now going to have 14 teams. So, and the layout of how that looks is you're only going to have one divisional champ that receives a bye instead of two teams. Or the two best teams, and from that, the two other division winners and the 4 wild card teams will play in a new wild card format where there's only 3 games, or there's 3 games. Isn't the wild card 1 game right now?
The wild game is
so now it's 3 games, and they're all home games for the better team. So it's better. It's a better layout. But what I'm concerned about is it's going to kind of water down the playoffs. When the playoffs, you're looking for like cream of the crop teams. Now that you have 14 teams. Out of 30 teams in the MLB, you're going to have teams that are like batting 500 for the season getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I get it. And I mean, I understand that baseball's trying to figure out a way to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like appealing to the younger crowd. Yeah. Like March Madness is like a big thing and it's huge. And they want that kind of feeling, that kind of environment. They want that a lot. And I get it and I understand it, but I personally feel like they should just literally leave the game the way it is and just expose it more towards the youth.
Sure.
Because right now, kids that go to the park, they can't even play pickup games because you need a permit to get on the field, or the batting cages is closed. And also, when you watch stuff on the internet, Major League Baseball literally blocks everything because they want to be so inclusive and they want to be the only ones to produce the content and allow people to, like, you need permission to do this and permission to do that. Let it go.
Right.
Let it go. See what the XFL just did? Put mics on everybody in the MLB. Put it on the umpire. Put it on the players. Expose it. Let us hear this guy slide into second talking crap.
Yeah.
You didn't get me. Yeah, I did. No, you didn't get me. Yeah, I did. Let us hear that. Like, let it be engaged.
And they did a little bit of that in the preseason this past year, this past MLB year, where they mic'd up the like Mookie Betts and some of the outfielders, and they were talking to the announcers. So, hey, Mookie, what's your outlook on this year? And all of a sudden he's like, hold on, guys. A ball's coming his way. Catches it. Yeah, sorry about that. So, blah, blah, blah. That's interactive.
Now, Cam, hold that thought. Don't let that go. Let me get to this promo real quick. This part of the show is brought to you by ElCubanoSandwichShop.com. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups and delivery orders. Enjoy a café con leche or a natural pre-workout shot of Cuban coffee to start your day. The daily lunch special and their steak sandwiches are next level. Once again, use the promo code EAC. That's ElCubanoSandwichShop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC. So let's get back to the MLB talk. I personally feel like in order to engage the younger fan, baseball games are expensive. Except here in Miami, in Florida or whatever, you can go to a Marlins game. They give away those tickets.
You walk right up to the front row.
There you go. Like, literally. You could literally buy a $10, $20 ticket, and you could have the time of your life. But I feel like MLB is more disconnected with their fan base than any other sport right now.
You know what it is, and I don't mean to dig on your sport here. I know that's your jam, but it's not the sexiest sport to the younger crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to market. It's weird because the XFL and the MLB are weirdly in the same situation where they're trying to attract the younger crowd. Mm-hmm. Everyone that watches, the majority of the people that watch the MLB are 40 and older. They have that crowd forever because that's what they grew up watching.
It's America's pastime.
Right, and in the 80s and the 90s, baseball was popping off with Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and all that. Baseball was at a height before the NBA really took over.
Now, we're not
as that second sport.
Now, we're not talking about the game itself is a beautiful game. It really is a beautiful game. But in order to entice newer viewers or younger viewers, you have to do something different. So I don't mind Rob Manfred coming up with ideas about trying to do something different, but you have to speak to the fans about this. You have to speak to the players about this. You can't just put this on them. It's like back in the days when the NBA tried to change the ball without getting the opinion of the players.
I remember that.
It didn't last too long. The players were like, man, get this damn ball out of here. We can't do this. Like, the ball would stick to the rim. It wouldn't go in. Steve Nash, I remember he was making complaints about the texture of the ball and messing up his fingers or whatever it may be. You can't make changes that drastic to the game without getting the proper feedback from the people that play the game and pay to watch the game.
Right, and we talked about it in the first show on Monday. You got to give the people what they want.
Exactly.
You got to give the viewers what they want. And one of the things that the younger crowd that the MLB is trying to get involved. One of the things that they're a little upset about is how long these games are. You got MLB games that are lasting 4 or 5 hours, and if it goes into extra innings, you're there. You're there for a long time. One of the things they talked about was instead of 9 innings, making it 7 innings.
I mean, I'm not with that. I'm not with that at all. But I do agree that some of these games are really, really lengthy. There can be innovative ways to speed up the game. The problem is a lot of the revenue comes from when the game is actually stopped. Commercials, marketing stuff. Like, a lot of that stuff. I mean, you could do it to where you have the screen, you still show the game, and you show the little commercial for the time being. And they've done that. They've implemented that part to it so far. But, they have to figure out in a way. I don't have a problem with Rob Manfred trying to think of new ways to do that. I just have a problem with him not engaging the players and not engaging fans on their opinions.
That makes sense. And football did that this past year, where it would be not a media timeout, that's longer, the 30-second timeouts, they'll do like a T-Mobile ad, but they'll still show like the players on the field in the huddle. They show the commercial will end. They'll go widescreen with them breaking the huddle and getting into the formation.
I definitely feel like, and it's crazy because I see Trevor Bauer and I see Alex Wood, some of the stuff that they posted on social media, and they're not wrong for some of the stuff that they're saying. They're vividly upset because you're not engaging the players. You're not asking the players, yo, give me your input, give me your insight, Like, you're my partner right here on this show, and I talk to you 3 or 4 times a day just about what we're going to do on a 50-minute show.
Yep.
Rob Manfred is not engaging the players on drastic changes that he's trying to make to the sport.
Yeah, and we talked about on Monday, again, the NFL and how they're set in their ways and how they can do better like the XFL by listening to their fans. I mean, think about baseball. They're even more set in their ways. 100 years for the NFL. How old is the MLB?
Oh, it's older than that.
You got to make changes if you're going to get this younger crowd involved.
I don't disagree with you. What's the next topic on the slate?
We're going to change complete sports. We're going to talk about NBA.
The NBA. There was 5 games on 5 games. I think
5 games last night. Yep.
So what was the slate? The slate was the two primetime games were the 76ers versus the Clippers and the Houston Rockets versus the Boston Celtics.
Right. We also had the Spurs versus the Thunder, and we had the
Wizards versus the Bulls.
The Wizards versus the Bulls, and the Pelicans versus the. Oh, you think about Zion?
Mount Zion, man. That man right there, dude. Like he
had a night.
He had a night, man. He was literally Kennedy Space Center and like I swear, like this man was just flying in the air. Like I don't even think those Jordan sneakers can hold him. Like literally.
Yeah. The Nike ones can't.
They're gonna pop. They're literally.
The Jordans are gonna pop now.
The Jordans are gonna pop, dude. I hope they don't for marketing purposes, but they're gonna pop. That kid is truly something special.
Yeah, he's a beast. You always see him do something special every night. And he's actually in good company. This first 9 games, I saw a stat. His first 9 games, he's in He's right behind Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson for the most points scored in the first 9 games of his career.
Now, I saw on some other networks, on some other shows, people talking about how, Zion, is he going to be able to steal or kind of like catch up to Ja Morant for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I did
Now, let me
see
explain
that.
something to you. Now, while I love me some Zion, I really do. He's a hell of a phenomenal player, I think. But what Ja's been done this year and what he's going to continue to do as long as he stay healthy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you should literally, I understand the NBA is about marketing and all that type of stuff. You should literally just give Ja Morant the Rookie of the Year right now.
It would be a shame if they were to do that because we
they
talked about this.
They've done it before.
I know they've done this before, and that's, I hate to go on a little rant here, but that's the problem with the NBA trying to create stars. Everyone knows Zion's a baller. Everyone knows Zion's going to be a great player in this league for time to come here. But let that happen. Let it happen naturally.
But isn't that a catch-22 kind of? Because you have some leagues where they don't market their stars.
You're right.
And then you got the NBA that's probably the leader in marketing stars.
Absolutely, because there's one of the things is no helmets. You're seeing these guys face to face, and there's only 5 of them on the floor at one time. So just off of those simple things alone, it makes them more marketable. Plus, they're all over social media, way more than the NFL, way more than the MLB and other sports. But back to my point about them not having to create. He's good enough. Let him do his own thing. He doesn't need the NBA tries to up these guys' resumes right out of the gate. We talked a little bit about before the show Ben Simmons, how he won the Rookie of the Year in 2018, when in no way.
Yeah, it should have been Donovan Mitchell.
100% should have been Donovan Mitchell.
I agree with you 100%.
If you're one of those people, and I'm looking at the camera right now, if you're one of those people that thinks Ben Simmons was a rookie in 2018, turn off the broadcast right now. That year he was injured in 2017. He got to travel with the team. He got to be on the floor.
He's in a professional
got to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yes, but they're just trying to. They thought he was the next phenom. Mm-hmm. So let's get this on his resume. Let's get the Rookie of the Year on his resume. And I feel like if Ja takes just a little bit of a dip, and Zion completely goes on this tear to end the year and maybe gets that 7 seed or 8 seed, they're gonna do it. But I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think they should. I hope Ja Morant gets it regardless. So the first primetime game was the 76ers versus the Clippers. And we all saw the night before, obviously, on social media, the Philadelphia fans were getting at Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid was literally on some Batman reference, you're the hero until you're long enough to be the villain or something like that.
Oh, his back and forth with Jimmy Butler, right?
Jimmy Butler tell him, hey, come down here, because I know we're villains. And it's true, villains do retire down here. So come down here, just playing off of it. And Joel comes out and he has a great game and they win. They beat a really good Clippers team. And, Joel in the post game just basically said, man, I understand we have a love-hate relationship with the city of Philadelphia, and I appreciate them, and this is home, and everything is cool. That's totally understandable. To play in a city like Chicago, Philadelphia, L.A., Boston's worse. Boston will literally, you could be on their team one day, and then you could be traded the next, and the Boston fans are going to give you hell. Yeah. Philadelphia fans are pretty much the same way. They're going to give you hell regardless.
They are, but they're loyal, and it's tough to play in Philly.
They threw snowballs at Santa Claus. Remember that. The Philadelphia fans threw snowballs at Santa Claus. So I really do feel like they'll be fine, the Philadelphia 76ers. It's sometimes that's just the way it is when it comes to those types of crowds. Playing in those cities is tough.
Absolutely, and don't be surprised if Embiid's wearing a Heat jersey next year. All right, Heat homer.
Look, I haven't brung up, not 1 second, I haven't brung up the fact that you walked into the studio tonight with your UCF shirt on.
Got a rep.
Yeah, but
got a rep.
That's Homer, dude. That's really, really Homer. And I'm telling you, I tell everybody that watches too. I can't wait till college football comes back around and you and I get to speak on that.
Yeah, it's gonna get rowdy in here. That's for sure.
Game number 2 yesterday, we had the Houston Rockets versus the Boston Celtics.
Yep, and we watched that. That was the other one on TNT, the other primetime game.
And that one was literally I felt like when I was watching the game, I was watching a team in Boston that had Marcus Smart. It had Jaylen Brown. It had Kemba Walker. It had so many players on the court.
Gordon Hayward.
Yes, Gordon Hayward. And then when I watched the Houston Rockets, I just felt like I was watching Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
Just two dudes
just
going
playing
at
one-on-one the whole time.
Yeah, they play hero ball. The Rockets are one of the lowest teams in regards to assists per game because it's just
1-4.
two guys.
It's just literally 1-4 playground ball pretty much the whole time.
And if it works, fine. But what I found, I was watching that game a little bit, and James Harden, I mean, he's really amazing when you watch it. He had 42 points last night. He took 19 shots. 16 of those 19 shots were from three.
I mean, his efficiency levels through the roof. I can't.
Nuts.
I mean, he's crazy. He is phenomenal. Like literally, like he could play in any era. I mean, they probably called travel on him if he played in the Larry Bird era. But I mean, he could literally play in any era. He's really that good.
Yeah.
And what I ended up watching after that game was a show where they interviewed Mike D'Antoni, and the person interviewing Mike D'Antoni was former Phoenix Suns guard and Dallas Mavericks guard and Los Angeles Lakers guard Steve Nash.
Oh, sure.
And Steve was basically explaining to the audience that Mike D'Antoni's offense is way ahead of its time. He literally had analytics in his offense way before analytics was even a thing in basketball. That shooting 33% from three was better than shooting 50% from two.
Yeah, he birthed. A lot of people regard him as the person who birthed this new era of NBA where it's just pop and shoot from outside.
Absolutely, and they broke it down a little bit to where it was, you know what, D'Antoni was trying to explain that having Steve Nash and Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire was literally giving them a better opportunity to win games. And D'Antoni basically said the biggest mistake he ever made was continuously pushing the throttle on that type of basketball. He said he felt the pressure from certain people and he dialed it back when he shouldn't have. And now he's not doing that with Harden, Westbrook, Tucker. He's not doing it with those boys. He's like, come on, let's go, guys. Like, literally push the pedal to the metal. Let's keep shooting threes. Let's play faster. There is no bad shots. Let's just keep going all day long.
Right, and especially since they don't really even have a true big man. A lot of people over the last week or so have been joking around about how Isaiah Thomas can go there and be like a power forward or something like that. So, I mean, they're sticking to it.
They're playing small ball.
They're playing small ball, and if you're, like I said, if you're good at it, keep running it.
He said that in the show, actually. D'Antoni said, usually when you're coaching and you run into trouble, you go small. And he said when you run into really big trouble, you go even smaller.
Wow.
So, I mean, unless he's going to have, like, the Harlem Goldschlager guards dribbling around and whatever it may be, I don't know how much smaller he can go because he had no shot blocking on the court yesterday. Yeah. But, I mean, they still ended up winning the game handsomely. Like, they handed, the Celtics. There was a little tussle, like, little back and forth here and there during the game, but the Rockets ended up winning by a lot.
Right. And again, just with Harden, like, I'm so amazed how he drops 21 points from three, and then his other 17 points were from the free throw line. Like, he either makes a three or he's shooting two.
You can't touch him. You can't touch him. You can't touch him at all. Now, big weekend for the NBA also.
By the way, if Taco Fall was in that game, the Celtics probably would have had a better shot. They need to get him involved more. They got to call him back up from the main Red Claws.
Here we go again. That's your normal UCF plug.
The plug of the day.
Football, whether it's are you gonna plug a UCF player in baseball? That's what you're gonna do?
I don't know. I'm not too well versed on my baseball players. I'll get back to you next week.
So we got there's a big weekend for the NBA this weekend. Obviously, they got All-Star Weekend this weekend, and they're gonna pay tribute to the late great Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the victims of that tragic plane crash. I think what the NBA is doing is amazing. I really do. I think the NBA, when it comes to this type of stuff, I think they do it the right way.
Agreed.
They really do. They literally put their mark on it. They love their players. They back their players. And, the teams wearing 2 and 24 to represent Gianna and represent Kobe Bryant. Amazing gesture by the NBA.
Yeah, that's first class all the way. And is that all they're doing? Because I believe I saw something that I think they might have pulled back from, where at the end of the third quarter, at the end of the fourth quarter, they're adding 24 to each team's score. I didn't see.
I think you need to do algebra and geometry to figure out what exactly are the rules for the new All-Star game. I have no idea. I'm literally going to watch the All-Star game just because I want to see how the players react and how are they going to represent Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality legacy and trying to play competitive basketball during the All-Star game. If there's any All-Star game that they should do it in, this should be the one that they do it in, just to represent Kobe Bryant the right way.
Sure. And remind me, where's this game played again? Where's the All-Star weekend?
It's in Chicago, right?
Chicago. That's right.
Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because I've seen the little snippet. By the way, shout out to Candace Parker. Candace Parker did a little snippet last night where she was literally paying homage to a former high school basketball coach that has literally been coaching high school basketball in Chicago for 5 decades. Damn. 5 decades. This lady has been coaching girls high school basketball, and it's like the epitome of girls high school basketball in Chicago. And shout out to them because I don't discriminate. I represent the women just as much. I'm more than glad to have a woman sit right there and talk sports all day long. She could take my chair and speak to you.
I'd rather that.
It doesn't bother me not one bit. But what I didn't really take a glimpse of or really notice is I didn't take a glimpse on whose teams. So the only ones I really know is Giannis picked Embiid and LeBron picked AD. So fill me in on who's the rest of the teams.
Yeah, those are the two big names, at least from each team. As far as the starters go on Team Giannis, you had Pascal Siakam, who I knew he was good. That's the guy from Toronto,
Yeah,
who really blew up last year when they really helped them, really like an underlying hero of that
he
series.
puts in that work.
Absolutely. I was shocked to see that he made, the other night I was watching, I think it was 2 nights ago, he was like 6 for 8 from 3. I thought he was like a power forward center. I know he's a power forward.
It's different now. The game has changed. Like guys that big, like that's why it's scary that if Giannis could develop a jump shot, it's a wrap.
You're right. Also, another guy that might be in a Heat jersey next year. But anyway, Giannis.
Homer, man, you're a homer
also,
big time. You're a huge homer.
I just trust in the Godfather, Pat Riley. That's all. That's all I can say.
Pat just made a bunch of deals. Like, what do you want him to do?
He did.
He shifted Winslow away and got rid of Waiters and traded Johnson and like, what more do you want?
And I sent you the other day that there was light talks on Draymond Green.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Draymond Green lights talks about whether or not Draymond Green would go to Miami. I think Draymond would be a perfect fit in Miami.
Absolutely.
Like, literally the garbage man. I don't want to call him a garbage man because I respect what he does. I'm just using it as he does all the dirty work that a lot of people don't want to do.
Right, and I always said, since the first year, Justice Winslow was kind of like a poor man's Draymond Green. He was just a guy that kind of just did it all. He played defense. He got you your rebounds. He can dish it, but he can't stay healthy. And that's why I didn't really hate that we got rid of him. So if we can replace him with the Draymond Green, who's a known stud in this league from time to time, I mean, he has his moments. Mm-hmm. As long as he's not kicking anybody out there, I mean, we should be all right.
Hold that thought. Let's stay on basketball. Let me get back to this promo. This part of the show is brought to you by ElCubanoSandwichShop.com. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups and delivery orders. Enjoy a café con leche or natural pre-workout shot of Cuban coffee to start your day. The daily lunch specials and their steak sandwich is next level. Once again, use the promo code EAC. That's ElCubanoSandwichShop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC.
Go get your caffeine.
Yeah, let's get back to the basketball talk.
So the starting lineups: Team Giannis. You had Pascal Siakam, Kemba Walker, Trae Young, that's right, and Ashtray, and Joel Embiid.
Okay.
And then on the other side of it,
that's a small backcourt.
I know, and this seems
a tiny backcourt.
And these two teams seem so lopsided because if you're a basketball fan, you already know this team I'm about to lay out right now. But on Team LeBron, you have LeBron and his teammate Anthony Davis. You have Kawhi Leonard, Luka Doncic, I don't know how to say his last name.
Luka Doncic. Yeah.
And James Harden. That's a dumb starting 5 lineup.
Well, I saw the little snippet where Giannis said he didn't pick James Harden because he wanted somebody to pass him the ball.
Yeah, he wanted the ball.
He wanted the ball. So I mean, Luka's used to that type of stuff, playing in Spain, overseas. You got a bunch of ball hogs sometimes over there, but yeah. I think. Who do you think wins that game?
I mean, I would be. How can you pick Team Giannis?
I want you to pick first, so I can pick the opposite, and then I'll be right.
Okay, I'm just gonna go real light about it. I'm gonna pick Team LeBron.
I'm going Team Giannis. I wanted to go Team Giannis anyway. So all
right, so we'll put a little friendly wager on that. We'll put something on the Vipers and Dragons game.
No, you're gonna have to give me a café con leche. I'll put it right here.
I'm gonna use the promo code. I'll get it.
Yeah, use the promo code EAC. So the dunk contest. I mean, the dunk contest has been, dull. I get better dunks on Instagram than I do at the dunk contest. Yeah. Shout out to Marcus Mack, because Marcus Mack sent me a DM today, and it was,
it was posted everywhere.
Yeah, it was posted everywhere. It's literally of a guy, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's literally of a guy running, and then he bounces the ball while the other guy's running behind him, and they do like some matrix. My arm goes this way, your arm goes that way, and he dunks it.
Essentially, the guy who ends up dunking it put his hand out to jam it, and the ball just met it there
perfectly.
He just put it right where it needed to be, and he brought it home. So it was very aesthetic to watch that. I watched it like 10 times.
The 3-point contest, I'm always a fan of the 3-point contest.
That's my favorite.
And they added like a further shot this year.
They brought it out more?
I think there's 2 places on the court where you literally take these shots at a different range. Yeah, I think this year they're doing that to try to like change it up a little bit. The skills competition is always nice to see. You know, the passes, the bounce passes, the layups, the running around and stuff like that. That's cool. But I think the All-Star Game, I hope and I pray that the All-Star Game is something of a competitive thing because I wanted to represent Kobe Bryant the right way.
Absolutely, and I think they will. I think they know what people are expecting, especially in the house that Jordan built and all the battles that he had with Kobe. You know they're going to do something special for that. And just going off of what you're saying with the skills position and the 3-point contest, dunk contest, the All-Star Game is on Sunday night. All those competitions are on Saturday.
Right.
Now, some news here that came out about Damian Lillard. He's going to be performing a rap.
Oh, that's right.
A rap piece.
That's right.
And then he's going to participate in 3-point contest.
Well,
so does he do it before the?
For all y'all don't know, that Damian Lillard and Shaquille O'Neal went back and forth over the summer.
Yep.
I don't really think Shaq ends up playing that part of it this time just because of the situation with Kobe.
Right.
But that would have been amazing if they literally would have like just did something funny going back and forth where Damian's rapping and Shaq is rapping. Like,
yeah.
Because Shaq don't hold back. Like,
no.
Shaq literally goes all in. You know, he literally lets you have it.
He's not shy. If you remember in 2009 when he came out on the starting lineup and he did the Jabberwockies dance with the Jabberwockies that came out.
He's all personality. Shaq is a member of a Sugar Honey Iced Tea team. Yeah. For real. I mean, I'm just...
all pro team.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely part of that. Like, Shaq don't hold back no words whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's why he's not going to do it from what you said from the Kobe piece. So it's going to be interesting to see how Damian Lillard navigates around it. Is he going to do that and then right away jump into the 3-point contest? Is he going to wait till the end? If he completely blows it in the 3-point contest, is he even going to dare start rapping?
Right.
So that's going to be an interesting dynamic because we're in a time right now in 2020 where it's all about your brand. It's all about building yourself. And we already know he already is trying to come out and really take this rap career seriously.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see how that works.
Absolutely.
To be honest with you.
I mean, I know we touched on this the other day as well, and I saw it late, like really late. And we didn't get a chance to talk about it when we were talking about the NFL quarterback market.
Mm-hmm.
And Taysom Hill just recently came on and said that Taysom Hill sees himself as a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, the audacity.
I'm a firm believer in self-belief.
Yeah.
Big in self-belief. So if he believes he's a franchise quarterback, by all means, you're a franchise quarterback. But he doesn't have the resume to show that on the highest level. We're talking about the NFL here. We're not talking about, college.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do what Drew. And even if he's saying that he's a franchise quarterback, then what about Teddy Bridgewater?
Teddy Bridgewater is more, just from what he showed this past year and how he kept that ship afloat when Drew Brees was injured, he's more of a franchise quarterback right now just based off the tape we have than Taysom Hill. I understand Taysom Hill wants to get paid and he wants to be the starting quarterback on a franchise. And damn, my Packers.
It's New Orleans?
I don't think it's New Orleans because I don't think they're done with Drew Brees yet.
If
he doesn't want to wait around, and if he wants to go right now to be a franchise quarterback, then that's expired because he doesn't want to play this role anymore. He doesn't want to be the gunner on the punt team any longer.
So you think it's going to be Brees and Bridgewater again, and Taysom goes somewhere else?
I think Bridgewater's going to get a position.
Where though? I mean, he did do an amazing job coming in, when Brees went down.
Yeah.
But where?
I have no idea. There's going to be some teams ready for.
Why are you copping out? Saying I have no idea is easy. Anybody could say no idea.
I truly don't have an idea.
Give me some feedback.
If you want to put a gun to my head and ask me what teams he's going to end up going to,
I'll do it.
I think it's going to be the Raiders.
Let's play fantasy quarterback carousel.
Okay,
so we're going to play fantasy quarterback carousel. So fantasy quarterback carousel, I'm going to send Taysom Hill to the Carolina Panthers.
I'm going to send him to the Raiders.
I'm going to send Teddy Bridgewater to The Chicago Bears.
Oh, never mind. I'm sending Teddy Bridgewater.
wait,
I'm sending Teddy Bridgewater to the Raiders. That's who I thought you were leading off with. I'm setting Taysom Hill to the Bears.
Okay, so
we're switched on that.
All right, so you're sending Bridgewater to the Raiders.
Yep.
And
Taysom Hill to the Bears.
Okay. So I send Taysom Hill to Carolina. I send Teddy Bridgewater to the Bears. I send
the Bears need someone.
Brady. I send Tom Brady to the Chargers.
That's right. I think I'm sending him there too.
I send Phillip Rivers to Tampa Bay.
Yes.
I think
that's fair.
Like 100%. Don't you think?
I think so too, because we talked about him buying a house in Florida. I can't tell you where off the top of my head, but I think they're going to roll with Gardner Minshew, the Jaguars, and I think the Dolphins are going to trade up to 3 and try to get Tua. So whether they want to take Phillip Rivers for a year or so to allow Tua to heal, I don't think Tua's going to jump right in.
There was I was watching the Pat McAfee show, and Pat was talking about it last week, that there was a possibility that they think that the Indianapolis Colts trade up to try to get Tua.
Really?
That would be crazy, right?
I can't see him.
But Brissett signed a little, he signed a little short deal. He didn't sign anything long term there.
Yeah, and they would really have to trade up for that, because they didn't. What did they have, like the 20th pick? 15, anywhere from 15 to 20. At the top of my head, I want to say.
I mean, it's definitely 100% possible. Not to sit there and say that it's not. I mean, Tua would be an excellent fit in Indianapolis. I don't know, man. I think Tua's gone within the first 5 picks.
Oh, I agree with that. I can agree with that. Absolutely.
Even if he has to sit and just chill for a year, I think he's gone in the first 5 picks.
Yeah, and speaking of, did you see the rumor that came out that Joe Burrow said he doesn't want to play for the Bengals? I think that's false. I think they're just trying to create a narrative.
That's false too. I don't see Joe Burrow and his family being that type to where they pull a Eli Manning or they pull a John Elway and they force a trade almost in a sense,
Right, and he was Mr. Ohio in high school.
Yeah,
they came from that.
Yeah, definitely. And if you ever get a chance, you need to watch the 30 for 30 on Elway and Marino.
Great.
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was really, really good.
Absolutely. The whole draft, how they went through it.
Yeah, literally. And the agent for Elway and Marino literally documented everything about the whole process and who he spoke to, and playing the fact that John Elway wanted to get sent, or he wanted a trade, or he was going to go play for the Yankees.
Right. Yeah.
He pawned that. He used every little piece that he could in a chess match against the Colts to make sure the Colts didn't draft his client.
And you hate to see that. You want to give players power in order to make a decision of where they want to go, but it takes away from the whole this team wants me. They're the ones that want me. I want to go to somewhere that wants me.
Right.
So it kind of, and you're getting more money with the first pick versus if you want to get traded down to the 3rd to go to a sexier team, or you want to go live in Miami and play for them. So, there's a lot of things that can go into it. To watch, we're going to have to see where that goes. I don't think Joe Burrow and his family are those kind of people.
Nah, I don't think so neither. I think the Cincinnati Bengals, they take Joe Burrow with the number 1 pick. But you and I both saw before we jumped on the show, and I can't believe that we didn't talk about this earlier. The Bengals are actually looking to trade Andy Dalton to a team. And I think that's out of respect for what Andy did last year for the team. Literally took the back seat once he got benched, and then they put him back into the starter's role, and he did it professionally.
Right.
He handled it the right way.
Yeah, he did it with grace. He's been the starter for 9 years now. So they're going to want to try to do right by him. So that's another thing. We're going to have to throw him in the fantasy quarterback carousel, see where we think he wants to go.
I totally forgot about that. And I know Emilio Jr. asked me to do this before the show started. Where does A.J. Green go if that's the case?
A.J. Green has been rumored to be in line with the Packers. That's one team. I would love that. I would love that. Well, that's
Aaron Rodgers would love it too.
Of course. We need someone opposite of Devontae Adams. But speaking of the Packers, we had Taysom Hill. We drafted Taysom Hill. And Mike McCarthy was too stupid to see what Sean Payton saw. Dropped him. Didn't even try to get rid of him for something. But just going back to Taysom Hill, I know I'm jumping around a lot here. How are you going to ask to be a franchise quarterback when the only reason why what you did worked was because of how well the Saints offense is run and how well Breeze and Kamara and Michael Thomas, that's a well-oiled machine.
But it's different now because in all actuality, teams are smart enough to sit there and center their offense attack around a specific player, like a la Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Like if the Ravens didn't go and say, okay, we're gonna go get tight ends, we're gonna get these guys around him instead of making him fit a system, you fit the system around him. That's probably what's going to happen with Taysom Hill as well. They're going to have to fit a system around what Taysom Hill brings to the table.
And believe me, defenses are going to be ready for this. If worst case scenario for Taysom Hill, he's right back in the role that he played this year, they're going to be ready for it this time around. He's not going to take anybody by surprise like he did this year. It's the same thing that I think happened to Colin Kaepernick after that huge year he had where he took the league by storm.
Yeah.
Nobody saw it coming. Nobody was ready for it. A year or two after that, what happened? They adapted. So I think that's another reason why he wants to get out and get into a full franchise quarterback role right now, because he knows that there's an end date on this. He's not going to be able to run down, be a gunner on the punt team, and go out in the slot
he wants to
and
get
take
paid.
carries.
I don't mind him get your check. That's fine.
Yeah.
He has a family to feed, and he has to secure his family's future.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. So this part of the show is brought to you by ElCubanoSandwichShop.com. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups or delivery orders. Enjoy a café con leche or have a natural pre-workout shot with a Cuban coffee to start your day. The daily lunch specials and the steak sandwich is next level. Once again, use the promo code EAC. That's ElCubanoSandwichShop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC. Well, this is pretty much going to wrap up episode 2. Cam, I really do appreciate it. Shout out to the crew in the back, Marcus Mack, Joey Benetti, Clarence Josie, my son Emilio Jr. I love you. Check us out on Instagram at the EAC Show. On Twitter, it's EAC Show. On Facebook, it's the EAC Show. And on YouTube, check us out on YouTube, the EAC Show. Subscribe, like, comment. Show us love and support. We appreciate everything. Thank you so much, guys. See you episode 3.